What's up and welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Kamino training facility. This set was released on May 1st of 2025 as the May 4th promo. At a threshold of $160 or more, this set was given set number 40765. It has 190 pieces as well as 3 minifigures. Moving to the back of the box, you can see an alternate artwork that shows off all of the different builds in action, as well as some of the different features throughout this set, and a nice Kamino background. So without further ado, let's get right on into this review. Starting off with our minifigures being these 3 clone cadets. Let's get a closer look at these guys. Now, these minifigures are definitely the highlight of this set, and all 3 are exactly the same, but looking toward the torso print, you have some pretty nice detail on there. Moving down to the legs, they have a pretty nice dual molded legs. I'm very happy that LEGO went the extra mile, including these dual molded legs. I know it's expected, but knowing LEGO and LEGO Star Wars, they very much do skimp out on the dual molded legs when it comes to this theme, so it is very nice to see it here. Now, as we move on to the arm printing, which might be my favorite part of this whole minifigure with the small kind of patch on the upper arm, is something that I thought that they would not include, but something that they did and I think looks great and elevates this figure. Moving along to the back, there's kind of minimal printing on the back of this minifigure, but it definitely does look good and gets the job done. And then coming back around to the front, they use this new hairpiece, which is also used on the UCS Jango Fett minifigure. Overall, I think that these are some great minifigures. I think LEGO definitely knocked it out of the park with these guys. They're definitely the highlight of this set, and I'm very curious to see if they're going to be exclusive to this set forever, or if we'll see them come out in a different set in the future. Now, as we move on to our actual build for this set, you have 3 different kind of mini builds here. Starting off, you have the KE Enforcer Shuttle being the biggest thing, but I want to take a look at the 2 smaller side builds first. Starting off with this turret tower right here, which is a pretty fun build. There is a little bit of a play feature on the top where this spins around and you can have your blasters rotating, but other than that, it is just a very simple build. There's not really much to talk about. It is pretty sleek, and I do appreciate that, and you can have your minifigures kind of stand up against it and practice against it. It is a fun inclusion, but it's not the greatest build. It's kind of something that's easy to look over. But moving on to our next side build being this small little barricade, which also has a weapons rack on the front, which also comes with this extra blaster, and you can take all of your other blasters and clip them into place right here. Now, I do think that this is a good inclusion, and I think it's definitely better than the little turret tower, and you can even, use it as a barricade and have your clone stand up behind it as some cover. Maybe it's not the best cover. It really only covers the lower portion of their leg, so it would have been nice if it was a little bit bigger. But moving on to our main build here being the KE Enforcer Shuttle, which is pretty interesting. It's something that I'd never really known about until this set had came out and I did some research on it. It has this interesting little feature where it comes down on the back wing, but moving toward the top cockpit area, I think that LEGO got a pretty good design here. It's pretty sleek, and as you make your way down, it narrows all the way down to the tip of the ship, and I think that it does look pretty good. Now, on the cockpit area, you have your little thrusters here. I do think it would have been cool if these had some blasters attached. I know that that's not really how it works in the actual legends and lore of Star Wars, but I think it would have looked cool nonetheless. But moving on, you have your cockpit area, which you can fit one of your clone minifigures in. You simply just stand them on these studs just like this, and then you can close it right back up, and they fit in nicely. They have ample room in there, and I think that this is a fun little build. There's not too much going on play feature wise, but it's still a fun one, and I think that it has a pretty nice sleek design. Now, once again, you just pick it up and you can bring this little kind of fin at the bottom down, and then it's a pretty swooshable set, and you can move your little thrusters on the side. But other than that, there's really not too much going on with this build. I think the fin on the bottom is a fun inclusion. You can kind of move it around, and you have this small blaster there, which is a fun detail. One of the few play features throughout this build. It's not something that I am incredibly interested in, but I think that it still does get the job done, and it's cool to see. And lastly, moving around to the back, you can see that it is left pretty empty and void of detail. Now, overall, I think that this set is a lot of fun. It's something that I never thought that LEGO would end up making. I think that the minifigures here, though, are 100% the highlight, though. I think the builds leave a little bit to be desired, but what do you really expect this being a May 4th promo? Not something that you're getting for the builds, that you are getting mostly for the minifigures. I will say, however, though, if LEGO wanted to make this a great kind of set, they could have included an ARC Trooper to oversee the training. It would have made this more accurate and just made it so much better, in my opinion. With the addition of an ARC Trooper, this would have been a 10 out of 10 set. We rarely get ARC Troopers nowadays in LEGO Star Wars anyway, so I would have loved to have seen one reintroduced, and it would have made it perfect in my opinion. Now, as for my closing thoughts, I think this is a pretty solid promo, and I think it's definitely a step up than as some of the ones that we have seen in recent years. I think that the minifigures here are definitely the main draw, though. I think if these minifigures were anything different, I don't think that the builds are able to hold up on their own. I think the KE Enforcer shuttle is solid, it's okay, but the other side builds just seem kind of gimmicky to me. But overall, I think it's a very solid May 4th promo, and I'm very happy that we saw LEGO branch out and give us these very unique minifigures, and it makes me very excited for what we can see in the future with new May 4th promos looking forward, and to see if LEGO can keep up on this trend of giving us very cool May 4th promos versus what it's been in the years before with some questionable ones. But if you want to see how this May 4th promo stacks up against some of our other May 4th promos, stay tuned, because tomorrow I'm going to do a ranking of every single May 4th promo that we have ever gotten. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. That'll be coming out tomorrow. And if you're watching this video late, then it should already be out. So I'll leave a link to that in the description. But let me know down below in the comments what you guys think about this May 4th promo, and if it's one that you got this year or one that you ended up passing on. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe. Drew signing out.